Hey, everybody, this is Alan Fine, and I'm here with Richard Aquino, Vice President, Head of Sales USA for Allianz, the insurance company that we've been profiling and we've been following around. They've got, well, times change, so does insurance. And so we've got a roundup, I guess, on what's going on with Allianz here on Insider Travel Report. Well, as I said in the opening, you're always updating your products, and people are traveling now. And I hope you're seeing an uptick in policies. And if not, then this is what this is for, to let travel advisors know what's out there.
Yeah, we have seen an uptick, and people are traveling. I mean, it went from, I'm going to go see Yellowstone to now I'm heading on a cruise. So we're seeing, travel pick up across the board, whether it's to Europe or a cruise through Europe or a cruise out of Florida. I mean, people are going, and we're seeing a lot of pent up demand, and I guess revenge travel is the new word. But we're seeing it both. And I will say I'm seeing our partners travel a lot, just different events going on and them traveling for their rest and relaxation, which I think they need. And then, of course, we're seeing a huge uptick in our policies with the traveling public.
So what are these new benefits that are being offered?
Well, we're doing what we call a product refresh, where we never let our policies kind of stop just making better, making our products better at Allianz. And we still have the COVID coverage, but I think what we're doing is we're looking at tomorrow, right? What are our products? Where do they need to be tomorrow to really benefit our partners and their travelers, what are our joint customers, if you will? So one of the things that we're doing is we're actually doing our trip length, so trips can take place up to 366 days. So we're just seeing a lot of people, travel longer, travel farther. So it's just a small thing that we did, and I'll say small, but we just want to make sure we have the right product, and that's one of the things that we're doing. We're also, we're launching we'll call it our big spender, where you're going to see some of our policies that actually go up to $200,000 for trip costs, because, travel is expensive, and we're still there for the small overnight trips or for the world cruises.
No, absolutely. So the luxury cruises, the luxury resorts. So you're modifying your product to meet that demand.
Yeah, and what also we're seeing is people are booking farther out. There was, hey, we're booking and going. Now we're seeing, and I think as inventory will tighten because people are starting to go again, we're actually moving our trip length on some of our policies up to that you can book out up to 1,095 days. So for the future cruiser, for the future traveler to Europe, we're going to be able to accommodate that too.
Well, that's great, because cruise lines are selling 24 and they're thinking about 25. So yeah, so the insurance has to keep up.
Yep, it certainly does. You have to move. You have to move with the bookings, right? And we saw that coming, and we saw the inventory getting tightened. So it was a right thing to put into our products.
Any other benefits that are new?
Oh, we've got a few. So actually, we've got a lot. One is a visa refusal, and so I guess what that does is if you're out and you're getting your shots and you're trying to do it, but for some reason your visa's refused, that's one of the benefits that we're adding. But I think you'll see things like increased medical coverage on some of our policies. We're extending the school year extension. So what does that mean? It's if there's a lot of snow days, people are back to in class. So if there's a lot of snow days, then and you can't make your trip because the school year has been extended, then that's a covered reason. So that's just a couple. One of the big things that I'll say excited about, I'm kind of travel insurance excited, is denied boarding for a medical reason. So, we saw with COVID, if you're coughing or something, you might be denied boarding. So what we did is if you're on a way and you're on your trip and you're boarding your flight and you have the flu and they're like, you're not getting on board, then if it's a medical reason, it's a covered reason. So I think that's really an interesting one.
So let me say this. So it's not just COVID, it's just a medical reason. And COVID is kind of getting folded into, you could have the flu.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
I was hoping that day would come.
Well, I mean, look, I know I'm going to get on a plane, feel like that I'm Superman, but they might not think I'm Superman. So,
but obviously, COVID's still a covered reason.
Yeah, COVID is a covered reason. I mean, not only do these policies still cover or accommodate for COVID, but you're also the medical will cover for COVID, trip cancellation, trip interruption, so quarantine coverage. So the full benefits of COVID are covered.
But that's interesting. So we were just talking about it's being folded in. It's kind of like flu, but flu wouldn't necessarily get all of those benefits that you just mentioned. Well,
not necessarily. If you're traveling and you get the flu, that is a sickness, right? So if the doctor says you can't go or you need medical treatment, then it could fall under a covered reason.
So it's exactly the same. That's great.
Yep.
More benefits.
More. So what I like is first responders. So this is a call to duty. And what that is if you are, an EMT, a fireman, a policeman, and you get called to duty and it's really out of your control, that's a reason to cancel. And I think in today's world, leave is canceled. If leave's canceled and you can't make your trip, we're going to cover that if you have one of our policies and that benefit on that policy. Also, new employment. If you got a new job and the boss says, you can't go on that trip, you're going to have to work here. That's a covered reason. Also, adding theft of travel documents and unable to receive vaccine. So as I was saying, if your visa is refused, that's one thing. But if you're unable to get your vaccinations because the doctor said, you just can't get that, that's a reason also. So I think there are a couple of the highlights. And of course, we're also covering for the illness or injury of a business partner. So a lot of our people who travel own a business with somebody else. And if their business their business partner rather, gets ill and can't attend the trip, that's a reason to cancel.
In other words, your partner gets ill and you have to attend the business.
Yeah, if you own a factory or a pizza parlor and your business partner gets ill and can't cover for you, then that could be a covered reason also.
Wow, you guys really sit down and think about this.
We try, and one of the, I think, which is going to be the most exciting benefits is veterinary emergency. So if you're traveling on a trip and your dog gets ill and gets to the veterinarian, has an emergency, then that's a reason to cancel. And I think really pets are part of families, right? So we're like, we should cover them like a family member.
That's a reason to cancel. That's a reason to cancel. That's a reason to get a policy. All of these are reasons that travel advisors should be talking to their clients and saying, have you considered all these things?
Yeah, when you're selling and positioning a product, I think the ultimate, this is me from the travel industry talking, you want to focus on the cruise. You want to focus on the 5-star hotel in Europe they're going to. But, we want to build products that are right for the market. You have to have COVID now. It's something you have to have. In fact, we cover COVID, but we cover not just for COVID, we have epidemic coverage. So I hate to say it, but in a changing world and environment, if there's another thing that pops up, and it's an epidemic, then it's covered. So we write for the future, not for today, because we didn't want a different variant to pull up and us say, well, we can't cover that. We want to make sure that we cover it.
Well,
But when the world's a crazy spot. We don't know what's next. We try to hedge for what's next. I will also say that what is really interesting is when you're an advisor and you're talking about, COVID's a hot topic, and I think people are going to get it because of COVID, no doubt. But as the world stabilizes, you want to make sure you have the product with the most cancellations in it. Because as an advisor, you're not going over and saying, well, this. But if somebody says, I'd like to book, but I'm a police officer, I think I might be called in, then you say, well, this is a great policy. If somebody says, I want to book the trip in June, but I'm afraid the school year might be extended, there's a reason. So it's kind of like what we're doing is we're trying to put as many coverages that really relate so the advisor can kind of pull that out to help close the sale.
I think that the travel advisor should start having a dialogue with you guys. What's the best way for them to get in communication?
Well, I think there's a lot of different ways that you can reach out. One, we have our travel advisor handbook, which actually highlights all of the benefits in a kind of an easy to read snapshot. But we have a large field sales team of district directors that are out there that are reaching out and calling on our partners. So there's plenty of trainings that are set up, and also consortium partners that we have. You can reach out through there.
So travel advisors really need to keep themselves updated, because it sounds like they could have a client who's hesitant, and they can get rid of the hesitancy by saying, look, there are all these cancellation possibilities, as you said, extended school year, or a partner gets sick and you got to stay at work, and these are all good cancellation reasons. So if a travel advisor wants to get involved, who do they talk to, and what do they do?
So there's a lot of touch points that we can contact or reach out to our advisors, or advisors reach out to us. So one is we have a large field sales force. We call them district directors. They'll be out training our partners on the benefits of the new refresh products that are coming out on December 10th. Allianz also has a travel advisor handbook. That handbook is a quick link that you can download that kind of walks through some generic, easy to read terms. And it covers a lot of products. So it might not go into the exact detail, but it will cover a lot of things that are offered. And the other way to do it is we have a lot of consortium partners out there. So there's a lot of intranet sites that our documentation are uploaded, and also our key contacts for our staff are there also. So you can always find us through that means. Also, we have Agent Max Online. So our Agent Max is our proprietary software, or I shouldn't say software anymore, but it's really on the web that allows you to see the products, see what's new, and learn about them. And you can also get that at partner.allianztravelinsurance.com, where you can find us and either log in or sign up for our products.
Okay, that's great. So then, now, Richard, what are the hot topics lately in travel?
The things that pop out very quickly are travel delay and lost luggage. I mean, we're seeing a huge uptick in claims because, flights are delayed, flights are canceled, and we continue to see that. It has gotten better. It really has. But we're still seeing an uptick. We're seeing lost luggage, and we have smart benefits. So which means if you give us, put in your airline information, we'll actually track your flight. So if you're delayed through the threshold, depending on your policy,
you'll know it
3 hours, 5 hours, right? You're going to get $100 per person per policy. So, for example, I have a family of 5. So when I travel, my kids are free on the policy because kids are free. So if I'm delayed through that threshold, which I've experienced in real life, then you're going to get a text that just says, "Hey, we know your flight's been delayed. We have $500 for you. Would you like us to send a check, or could we put it in your bank account right now?" See
that? If they update Monopoly, that's going to be a new chance card. It's an amazing text to get.
Yeah, especially I don't know if you've ever had to be stuck at an airport for a long time, but I know feeding my family that adds up pretty quickly.
All I can say is that travel advisors should take heed. This is a product that's commissionable. This is a product that helps them get other commissions as they sell their products. And I have to say that Insider Travel Report is also a client of Allianz, and we're very happy with it.
Yeah, well, and in fact, we have an annual policy for travel agents, and the travel agent policy it's available for our partners to use. It's an annual policy, has some cancellation to it, some medical to it. So it's really built for the fam trips that are out there, and for the quick junkets that agents are traveling on, advisors are traveling.
So you're saying for them, they themselves, they should get this policy and
yes.
look at it.
Yeah. I mean, I think in today's world, it's crazy to travel without some type of insurance, and we're really honored to win the awards and have the Magellan Awards, and it's really exciting. But at the end of the day, our partners vote for us, and it means a lot. So I don't think they should travel without us either.
All right. Well, I feel like we've covered everything, but we're going out to 109,000 travel advisors. Is there anything else you want them to know?
No, I think we did a lot of work. I talked too fast, I know, I guess.
No, that's great. So I thank you for sharing this, and I wish you luck. I wish you health. I wish us all not to need the insurance, but it's good to have.
Yep, I agree. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.